I just want to say I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
This is fantastic.
Thank you.
You are, and your directors are singing and your producers are singing your praises. I'm singing your praises. Did it make you nervous as an actress? We're seeing something, a side of you that we've never seen before.
Yes, I was nervous. I also feel like when people watch this film over, if my family or my friends, it hasn't come out, but they're gonna come to the premiere and hopefully buy tickets to see it. But there's a kind of another part of my brain that's never been used before when people watch my films before. I'm like, okay, that's something, it's acting. That's I act and they're watching me act. But this time it's different because they're hearing me sing, and it's something that triggers something else. It's like kind of like a nervous energy. It'd be like, well, God, it's like out in the world, like a real performance out in the world. Because singing was something that I love. Like I loved growing up. Like I would sing constantly. I still do, like all around the house. And I sang in school a bit. Like I did gospel choir and, I got a solo for like a Christmas thing. Like I sang in school, but the world, didn't know. So I've been looking for a movie where I can kind of show that and work on it, because it's the growth of that was kind of amazing to see, and I felt so much like my character because she was growing just as I was. So.
How long did it take you to get ready for this? So, I mean, learning songs, you're on stage. We had American Idol back on Fox years ago, and that's actually how I started at the station in Houston, covering American Idol.
Right.
So this brought back a lot. It brought back so many
Idol.
memories. But how long did it take you to get ready for for a role like this?
When I felt like, all right, we're doing this, it was like, you need to start now. Like you're already behind on preparing for this. So I think we had like 3 months before, and I was even filming like another movie at the time, but Marius DeVries, who is the music supervisor, he flew to even where I was filming, and we would work, and without him, I couldn't have done this. He was my Vlad, my mentor completely. And it was, a lot of vocal training when Bob Garrett was my vocal trainer of doing crazy exercises that you've heard and like weird stuff that really helps, and just the stamina of it, of being able to breathe and perform and put the choreography with the words. It's kind of like this. You're using different. Different brain muscle, but then you have to remember, I'm still playing a character and I'm still acting, I think keeping in mind that I'm also a character that in the beginning, not that she has potential, but she isn't at the top of her game yet. So there was a bit, which Marius and I would talk about a lot, of not necessarily holding back, but it was like, all right, with this song, you're not quite as good there yet. You're not, like, the performance is a little more concave and, honing that in, but still showing that, she has potential and I see something there, and then at the end she gets to go.
Yay. Yeah. Were you inspired by any like pop star? You're saying, okay, tell me. Yeah.
There was, Dua Lipa is someone that is very similar to Violet in a way. And Max was kind of the first person to tell me about her, because I think New Rules had just come out. Like, we were listening to that song a lot on set all the time. So she was just kind of first blowing up. But she has a similar story and kind of edge to her that Violet does. She comes from a very small town in England. And so there was a little bit of that. There was one particular video I watched of her on YouTube that was inspiring. And then, of course, I watched Taylor Swift perform and Katy Perry, and I watched the Lady Gaga documentary and the Katy Perry documentary, because that's kind of takes you behind the scenes, which is also kind of what our movie does, behind the scenes of the music industry a bit. So they all kind of influence me, and I'm someone who loves pop music. I love pop songs. I love pop stars. So for me, it wasn't, I grew up, listening and watching them and still am. So.
Great to see you both. I'm a music guy at heart, former radio dude. So I was really digging the music in this one. How did you decide what songs to include? How did you work through all that?
We wanted it to be a big cinematic experience. A lot of the music was sort of taken with that in mind. It was just, a lot of this stuff has a very kind of percussive, visceral feel to it. It's a movie where we wanted people to have like a physical reaction almost to the music in the movie and the experience of it. So I think a lot of these great pop songs do that.
How do you pitch a movie like this? It's a song competition, but it's so much more. And then you see Elle's life, family life, dealing with the struggles like that. But how do you pitch a film like this?
Jeez, I don't know. I mean, I hate pitches. I'm terrible.
But we're not good. We're not good at pitching.
Pitches.
It's a Cinderella story. It's a classic Cinderella story. I think told in a way that is completely unique and you've never seen before. So it's something old and something very new. But to go back to the music, we're sort of we want people to go and see this movie in a theater and have a theatrical experience and for it to be something that stays with them and. Like all the great movies that we fall in love with in our youth. That's the ambition, at least, yeah.
How proud are you both of Elle, who I didn't know she had a voice like that. I've talked to her many times, but just the fact that she delivers such a great performance. I mean, the entire cast is really, I wish we were talking to her manager. I love that dude.
He's amazing, isn't he?
He's so good. I love that guy.
I know, he's the best.
How proud are you of this cast? And let's talk about Elle.
It's a very difficult role, isn't it? I mean, she has to carry the entire movie. The things that she needs to do in this film. She speaks Polish brilliantly. She had to learn all that stuff phonetically, which is very difficult. She sings every single song. She had to train for months before with Marius de Vries, our musical supervisor. It was hard to find someone who could do all that stuff, and carry the spirit and energy of the film. She did, and she brought so much to the role that we could never come up with. I mean, it was impossible. So she brought so much attitude to this, and the performance pieces that she does in the film with the songs just blew us away, I think.
How did you film those? Let's talk about the performance, because like I told you, I started American Idol days back in the day.
Yeah.
So I've seen some of those live shows. They're huge productions. And you all certainly deliver that, even to the backstage scenes. Brought back memories for me.
Good.
How challenging were those to film?
Well, no one believes us, but Elle sings all the music live in the movie, which made our lives just infinitely easier. I think it would be very difficult otherwise if she didn't have the capacity to do like such a kind of difficult physical exercise. It was like it was a lot. The final performance in the movie, she shot that for 12 hours straight. That's a very difficult thing for any professional singer to pull off. So honestly, we were very lucky there. We had a phenomenal actress. We had an amazing kind of music team of people who are all should be doing better things than working with us, and it really shows and it pays off. All that experience, you can feel it, and I'm really proud of all those sequences. I think they really came together.
Directorial debut, producing debut as well, if I'm not mistaken. Great work, you guys.
Thanks,
How did the experience? How was it? How surprised you most about being a debut for director and producing?
I think just how much grief actors give producers. I think overall, I'll be much kinder to producers from now on. Yeah, but I mean, this is we've been friends for a really long time. Getting to do this has just been, working with your mates it's everything. So it's just been the best experience.
Yeah, we've learned a lot.
Yeah,
we learn every day, man.
And before I leave, I love y'all's work. Of course, going back to Billy Elliot days and Rocket Man's coming up.
Yeah.
And Handmaid's Tale, I have to mention that. Dude, you guys are just doing it big.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much.
And Talented Mr. Ripley is one of my favorite movies that your dad
thank you
did.
so much, man.
Yeah.
Me too.